let's jump into the first story of the day. And that would be this story that's kind of making its way around, but hasn't, I don't think, hit the mainstream yet. And I think it really needs to, because especially after the whole Kavanaugh situation and people talking about false accusations and Trump coming out talking about false accusations, and a lot of other people out there they like to argue that false accusations don't happen as often as we think. When I'm actually of the belief that they happen probably a bit more than we think, and I'm glad that in recent years there's been a larger call to attention for that, because ultimately false accusations are they're just terrible shit. This is terrible, especially when it's done with malice of intent, and that's what this particular story is all about. So a lawsuit accuses Seneca Valley Mean Girls of targeting boy with false allegations. Now, while Mean Girls Day is being marked Wednesday in reference to October 3rd in the popular 2004 cult movie, look, I just also want to point out, I saw Mean Girls in theaters back in March of 2004 when it came out. It's a good movie. I like it quite a bit. I've never seen anything really hit Mean Girls Day. It's never really hit full on. It's never really hit full on, in my opinion. So something, I don't know why they're trying to make it a thing. You're not going to make it a thing. Although they kind of already did anyway. So the parents of a former Seneca Valley High School student claimed in a federal lawsuit filed this week that their teenage son was terrorized by false accusations made by 5 mean girls at school. Now, that's a pretty heavy accusation right there. 5 mean girls at school all targeted one boy. Let's find out more. So this is Michael J. and Alicia Flood of Zelienople, Butler County. Zelienople, Butler County. Okay. The parents of a teenage boy identified in the lawsuit as TF because he's underage seek unspecified civil damages against the girl's parents. The school district and Butler County District Attorney Richard Goldinger. The lawsuit, which includes the term mean girls, alleges they conspired in person and via electronic communication devices to falsely accuse TF of sexual assault on 2 occasions. That is a very broad and bold accusation, right? That 5 girls colluded together using, electronic devices and in person, a story, a narrative to accuse this kid of sexual assault on 2 occasions. Now, neither Goldinger or the Seneca Valley school officials have commented. The 26-page lawsuit filed in Pittsburgh on the eve of Mean Girls Day. Anyway, I get the juxtaposition, or I get the comparison between, it's Mean Girls and then Mean Girls. I get it, but it just doesn't really work. Alleges that TF was forced to endure multiple court appearances, detention in a juvenile facility, detention at home, the loss of his liberty and other damages, until several of the girls reluctantly admitted that their accusations were false this summer. So this kid was sent to juvie, put on house arrest, denied his freedom and other damages until several of the girls admitted that they had lied, that they had fucking lied. Now, the lawsuit contends TF was bullied on multiple occasions by classmates. In one example, the lawsuit said students last year placed masking tape with the word predator written on it on his back without his knowledge during choir practice. Jesus. Now that's some shit you can't get away from. Those are the kind of pranks, that you don't get away from. It's like when they pant someone in public and it all comes down. It's all hanging out. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's going to know about that. Everyone's like, oh, that's the kid who had his junk hanging out. That's the kid who had predator written on his bag and was accused of sexual assault. Because once the first impressions are put on some people, they will never look at it another way. The lawsuit alleges the boy was further damaged from gender bias by school officials and Goldinger's office, which even after learning the girl's accusations were false, did not take any actions against the females involved. Wow. And that does seem, I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but I can see it happening. Oh, the girl, they were just playing the rounds. They were just playing the round. They're fine. He's fine. No one's gonna know. It's high school. Everyone messes up in high school. That's what it feels like to me. That's what this particular passage feels like. It's just ridiculous shit. Now, it says here that TF was basically being tortured in school by other students and investigators, but the administration was only focused on protecting the girls who were lying. Once the allegations were proven false, they didn't care one bit about TF, and there's been absolutely no repercussions against the girls. And this is exactly why false accusations are as important to investigate as actual as everything else. Why it should all be treated the same, right? And if you are found to be lying about this, you should receive the same punishment that you would get if you committed the crime. I think that's the only deterrent here. Now, recently a story came out about a college girl who had a threesome with two dudes, right? And once they were done pulling the devil's triangle, she claimed rape and then used the sympathy as a way to attract a guy that she had a thing for. And then it was almost until these dudes were like, these guys were going to get in some serious trouble, then it came out that she was full of shit. And this guy ended up, like just to get a guy. And she got, I think, like 2 years in jail or something, right? Or she got something like that. It was maybe a year jail, year in probation. I don't know. But it was nowhere near what these guys were facing had they actually committed the act. That is the problem when it comes to false accusations. That is the problem with all this shit. Now, so the teen boy has been homeschooled since then, which completely makes sense. They've destroyed his high school career. There's going to be no reunion for this kid. And that's probably for the best. According to the lawsuit, the first allegation occurred in July 2017 at an area swimming pool where TF worked as a lifeguard with the then Seneca Valley High School graduate Megan Villegas, who was the only teenage defendant named in the lawsuit. The others are minors and referred to only by initials. The lawsuit contends that TF was charged with sexually assaulting a girl identified in the lawsuit as KS on the pool premises. And Villegas corroborated KS's claim by saying she was present during the alleged assault. TF was then fired from the pool. So we can assume at this point that that never happened. In fact, the next segment here covers that. It says here, in a tape recorded interview with school officials in 2017, the lawsuit alleges KS said she made the sexual assault claim against TF because I just don't like him. And you hear that a lot. You'll hear that a lot. Like, why is this one thing happening? Oh, I just don't like that person. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely, she goes on to say here, I don't like to hear him talk. I don't like to look at him. KS reportedly disclosed in the recorded interview obtained by Fishman. She's like, I don't like this guy, so I'm going to ruin his fucking life. I don't like the way he talks. I don't want to look at him. I don't want to look at him when I go swimming in the pool over the summer. So I'm going to say he raped me in order to get him fired, because no one's going to disbelieve me, because that's the narrative that we see. That's the narrative that we see. That's when people like Patton Oswalt bring up a believe women shirt and believe implicitly without due process. Look, trust but verify. Fine. Trust but verify should be the law of the fucking land in this case. Don't just sit there and like destroy a kid's life because I don't like the way he looks. Then go someplace else, you vapid cunt. On October 2nd, 2017, KS told fellow students that she would do anything to get TF expelled and accused of sexual assault. With school officials, a lawsuit writes, TF was subsequently charged in juvenile court with indecent assault on 2 counts of harassment. The Floods eventually agreed in late 2017 to a consent decree where he would not admit guilt but was required to stay out of trouble for 6 months and report to the county probation department. Now, oftentimes in those kind of situations, what generally happens is it's like, look, you either are going to go to jail, right? Like, they're going to tell you, this is what prosecutors are going to tell you. You're going to go to jail. You're going to lose. Your lawyer will tell you the same thing. You're settle. It saves taxpayer money. It saves taxpayer time. It saves lawyers' times and lawyer fees. And everyone on the other end gets paid. And you end up admitting to something you didn't do in order to get a lesser sentence just to make it all go away. That is a huge problem with our court systems and a huge problem with our justice system, and why overhaul needs to happen. I believe this is a case that I think greatly exemplifies that, considering after the fact, knowing that it was all a conspiracy to get this kid. Now, in March, another girl identified as CS, a friend of KS, reported to a school counselor that the boy had walked into her home uninvited and sexually assaulted her. The allegations were supported by information from 2 other girls identified as ES and HR. On April 9th, the police charged TF with indecent assault, criminal trespass, and simple assault. Like, Did they ask him where you were? He just randomly walked into her home uninvited and sexually assaulted her. Like, just open the door. Hi, honey, I'm home. Wait, what are you doing here? And then rape, I guess. I don't know. On April 10th, he was removed from class at Seneca Valley High School and placed in leg and wrist shackles by the Jackson Township Police with assistance of juvenile probation officer Michael Trago. Trago testified at a hearing that TF was a threat to the community, and the teenager had to spend 9 days in a juvenile detention center before being released on electronic home monitoring. After 28 days, TF was only allowed out of his home to mow his lawn. Yeah, because that's how they get you. They put you on home probation or home monitoring. Can't leave the house lockdown. There's a title for it right now. I can't remember what it's called. Home jail. Anyway, and then, they let you have to go and mow the lawn after 28 days. During the case, he was told by school officials he could not play baseball because every time he was wearing a Seneca Valley jersey, he was representing a school. According to the lawsuit, the criminal complaints against the boy began to unravel in May when 3 of the witnesses admitted they lied. Well, finally, 3 of the witnesses grew a fucking conscience. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew it would happen? On August 30th, Goldinger's office sought an order dismissing all charges against TF filed for the March allegation because of the false reports, according to court documents. On September 10th, the charges in connection with the 2017 swimming pool incident were ordered closed, according to the lawsuit. The Butler County District's Attorney's Office promised to file a petition to expunge the record of TF in September, but has not yet done so, providing further evidence of gender-based discrimination. The district attorney has refused to file criminal charges against KS, Villegas, CSES, and HR due to gender-based discrimination. The lawsuit claims school officials have repeatedly refused to mark the academic records of the girls who lied about the assaults. It's going on to say here that TF has had psychological trauma because of all this. He's had to see a psychologist to deal with the physical symptoms, which are the direct result of being accused of something he did not do, when he did not do anything wrong. Yeah. So you got a kid, run out of school, accused of sexual assault twice, and all he's done is, he's been lied about, right? It's one of those things where it's absolutely messed up. The whole thing is just messed up. You read a story like this and it should make your blood boil. It should make you angry, right? Because false allegations can utterly destroy lives. And people who don't do due diligence and due process based upon whatever reason, whether it is gender bias or not, are such a supreme part of the problem. And a lot of that problem is because we have a tendency to just believe people, which we should never fully lose that, but we need to investigate. These girls lied. They lied. 3 of the 5 came out and admitted that they lied. But yet the district attorney has not expunged this dude's record. The school has not punished the girls who lied. Right? The guy lost his damn job. Can't play baseball. His whole life is destroyed. The only silver lining in roughly any of this is that he's a minor. And as a result of being a minor, his name is not put out there. Had he been over the age of 18, we would know his name. We would know who TF is. 100% know who TF is. And I'm sure if you looked hard enough, you could find out. But the point I'm trying to make here is that the only thing that protected his entire life story from being impacted by this is the fact that he is a minor. But those girls who lied, those girls who committed false accusations, their names should be out there. They should. Because they lied. They've admitted to lying. It's absolutely just, it's ridiculous shit. And I feel nothing but, nothing but sadness for this kid.